Now, he's got an amazing background in not only technology, but Cushman Wakefield is specialized in office leasing and amongst other things. So since you'll have him here for a couple of hours, I would take advantage of his knowledge and ask him all kinds of questions, even apart from although he's here primarily for the LePage Commercial division, pick his brain at will. And just a little bit of background with the LePage Commercial division. Those of you that are members, you know that you pay $100 per month, and there's the LePage logo along with marketing, amongst other things, other benefits that you get, and he's going to go through it all. I was part of the committee that got this LePage Commercial division reactivated, because when your former company purchased the LePage Commercial offices, there was a non-compete clause for at least 5 years, but I believe that at the 4th year, I think it was 4 years,
you're right.
LePage was able to relaunch a commercial brand if they so chose. So the brokers in London, Ontario, we formed a group, a small group, to pitch to LePage by getting Phil Soper involved. And it took us a lot of time. I think it took us at least 1.5 years or 2 years to get their attention. And we finally got them to launch what you see today, or at least today it's progressed. But all we really wanted was for our agents to be able to use the logo, the LePage Commercial brand, that had power in the commercial industry out there, because LePage had 3 huge offices at one point, and the buying and selling commercial public, they still recognize us as being a commercial house. You agree with that?
Oh, 100%.
And so we wanted to take advantage of that. And today what's happened is that, as you all can see it from our own brokerage, is that a lot of commercial deals are being done by not necessarily Cushman Wakefield and the other commercial houses, primarily because of the influx of a lot of demographics and cultures from different countries. For instance, Iran, China, let's take the Chinese in particular. They want to deal with their own agents for the language and culture and understanding, and so there's a lot of residential agents that are doing humongous deals in commercial. A 30, 40, $50 million deal is not unheard of, where a residential agent will sell something like that. Even some projects for condos downtown, in those range in the $70, $80 million and up price tag. Because when you really think about it, it's all just a bunch of zeros, but the offers and the clauses and that is usually all the same. So we get all excited when it's a multi-million-dollar transaction. I joke with agents that don't order a car when you're working on one of these $40, $50 million deals. Don't order your $300,000 Ferrari or whatever. So that gives you a little bit of a preview. Now, Jim's going to go through his presentation. I have to go in and have lunch with the mayor today because it's a mayor's luncheon, so I'd rather be here. But I'm kidding. I'd rather do both. But so I'm going to stick around for a few minutes, and then and Jim will continue on. So Jim, it's all yours.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, sure. Oh, and by the way, it's being recorded. So any other agents that can make the meeting, if you know of anyone, they can watch it through. Well, you can tell us YouTube.
So we have the YouTube channel with the Academy. I'm sure everyone has received the invite. Subscribe there. You will always find the recordings of what the course is and the speaker. You can ask questions. You can always refer to the Academy for that as well. And in the event in future you wouldn't be able to make it to any courses, when we send out the link and you click to register, we give the option of a live broadcast. So currently we do have 2 realtors live broadcasting. So they are able to watch the video and then refer to it in future on our YouTube channel. Okay? And I'm always available if you have any questions or require any form of documentation. Thank you. Have a great course.
Hey,
Thank
you.
So let me stick around for a second in case we need some technology.
I think it should be good. I just have to go to even more from Google. We're on Google Slides.
Do you want to miss me?
No, but it's okay. I know it's down here somewhere, right? Sorry, we had it up. I had it up and running. And of course, the way technology goes, right? It's right when you need it. It must have, eh? You see slides?
Yeah, there is, we just.
Yet to be adapted.
Oh my gosh. Is that gonna work?
If it is, and then you can do view, and that's perfect, and you can utilize this.
There we go. I'll just use this. I'll just go. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that, everybody. And thanks for this opportunity. I really actually wish I was here a lot earlier. I've been here, it's almost a year to the day now. So I have learned a lot and I have a lot more to learn. But one thing that I feel confident in is that we have one heck of a great opportunity. I've been in the business about 30 years. I started actually at a small brokerage downtown, and then I went to Enterprise Property Group. I worked for Bramalea, if you remember Bramalea. I worked for Cadillac Fairview, Oxford, Dundee, office leasing mostly, but I did some industrial and some sales and things like that downtown. And then I moved up into the north and was doing some leasing up in the north. And I was telling Jack earlier, I was a partner in a technology company. We wrote software for the BlackBerry, and it was helping people find and access data using a map. And the funny kind of the way life works, I actually presented the software solution to Royal LePage back in 1999. Anyhow, I have a pretty diverse background. I managed the DTZ Barnaky North office for 4 years. When we amalgamated with Cushman and Wakefield, I went back to agency, was an agent, loved being an agent. I still do. I miss it. I just love helping out with transactions. So I do get a lot of calls from different agents and hopefully provide whatever guidance I can, whatever my experience can help. But I have learned a lot about what our opportunity here is in our framework and our structure. And I have to admit that I didn't realize some of the real benefits and maybe some of the limitations, but some of the real benefits. Like when I got into the business, Royal LePage Commercial was the shop. It was really the #1 brand across the country. You always wanted to deal with the Royal LePage Commercial team because they were working on really significant deals and they really had presence in all the major markets. So when they approached me last summer and said, hey, do you think you'd want to do it? My wife actually said, forget it, Jim. You got the nice Cushman thing going. And I said, you know what, how many times am I going to get the opportunity to really build a team and a brand like Royal LePage Commercial? Like, this is it. So I, convinced her that this is a good move, this is fun, and it's a heck of a challenge. But I'd like to kind of start off by really saying that's where I'm coming from and saying, wow, what a great opportunity. And I've learned a lot, and I'm trying to sift it down into kind of like 4 major initiatives that I'm going to be working on to help support you. I've got kids, 2 twins that are 13 and a 10-year-old, and they say, hey, Dad, how many people report to you? And I say, like none. I report to 340. That's the way I look at it. I'm like a support just for you to do deals. If you're successful, I'm successful. So that's really my perspective, and I love that. And that's how I see us. So I'd like to invite you to really share and, and I know, Arash, you're great that way, taking the initiative, contacting me and saying, hey, how about this, how about that? Because one thing I do know, I don't have all the answers. I've got some framework, but I can try to push for support and really help you do deals, because that's all we're about, doing transactions, writing trade records, and getting money into our bank account. That's what we're here for, and I'm here to support you. So that's my start, and that's where I'm coming from. So I'm glad you welcomed me here, and I really want to get going and help you. So I'll break in and give you just a bit of a summary about, where I see Royal LePage Commercial and how we can kind of get a framework and a perspective on it. So we'll look at it today, tomorrow, what the opportunity is. This is more about really the service offering and how I'm going to attack things, just to make it simple for me. We're going to look at data and how important that is, professional development, the brand, and how we're going to help build that brand, and technology. So I am going to try to keep it simple. It's all about increasing your revenue. What's surprising to me when I came here was our numbers compared to the other shops. You can see, you know, what we're working on in terms of the brand and to enhance the credibility. Collaboration is really where a lot of this is going. I'd like to learn more about your deals, but I know my deals. I work with a lot of agents at Cushman. I had an agent email the other day. He said, just did a deal with Cushman, co-brokering. We've got another agent co-brokering with Colliers. A lot of collaborations happening in-house and with other brokerages. But in-house, wow, do we ever have an opportunity? Because we actually have over 330 commercial agents across the country. But what I'm learning is it's hard to figure out who does what where and who's good at what and what opportunities somebody has and what somebody else might be looking for and what you might have and how can you communicate that to the network. So I'm working on an initiative and it's within the practice groups and we'll talk about that. But that's one of our big opportunities is when we can start collaborating amongst ourselves as we're up there digging up opportunities and finding out who can make this deal happen. We're going to make some money, and that's going to be the fun part. So when you look at the count, and sorry, you probably can't read that, but where we are, 305 is what we had at the end of 2017. Now we've got 340. I know, because I know the people at Colliers and CB pretty well, and Cushman, they actually are working at reducing. They want to do more with less, because their desk costs are very high. And I don't mind sharing if you guys are up for it. I don't know if you know the kind of splits that those big shops are under. I kind of think you do. But I know Colliers, because I was talking to one of the agents and I said to him, I said, what? Because he'd been let go from Cushman and he's looking around. He says, I'm going to go to Colliers. I said, seriously, you should look at Royal LePage, you know. And he's like, no, I think I'm going to go to Colliers. And I said, but it's a 51-49 split. And I said to him, I said, it's on the first 286,000 that you do. And he says, it's not 286, it's 273. I said, buddy, are you serious? So anyhow, their desk cost they shared with me yesterday, they figure it's $135,000. That's what their cost is. So they want their agents to do that 270, just so they can make that money back. So just so you know, they're trying to reduce. Our strength is in our numbers, and we need to really start collaborating and connecting, figure out who does what. We're going to continue to grow, and not that that's the end goal. The end goal is more transactions and more dollars, more commission revenue. But just by our nature, just by the way our opportunity is structured in the marketplace, we have an opportunity to really grow our brand. Growing it's really going to give us more credibility. Yeah.
Sorry, how do we legitimize that split? Like, what do they offer you?
So you don't pay for RealNet, for example. They will give you, based on when you go there, you can go to. Hey, I hear you. You know, like I did. I worked at 3 of the big shops, right? They give you like a workspace that's yours, dedicated to you. It might be out in, when you start, it's usually out in the center area, in the bullpen, right? They, you know, they give you a phone, I guess, an internet connection. They do give you data and research. Like, you know, I was at Cushman like just a little over a year ago. They provide you with research, but I have to say, like, actually, when we talk about data, a lot of the data is not very good. Let's face it, right? RealNet's data is not perfect. CoStar, you know, we can talk about CoStar. I've worked hard with them. It's really challenging to get that subscription because of but even their data. You know, in talking to the senior leader at Colliers yesterday, he was like, their data is SH, you know, he says it's terrible and they don't want it. And their business practices in his mind, and I'm not commenting on how they've been super nice to me and really trying to get it. And I've been working on leveraging LePage Commercial to get it for everybody. But if we can't get it for anybody, we're not going to get it for anybody, right? Everybody's got
You're referring
to
to CoStar, right?
CoStar, yeah.
We had a long dance with them, and Arash helped out. And they started off, some of the guys know here, we finally got a price, I think it was over $300 per month.
Guaranteeing 20 people.
Guaranteeing 20 people. And then it would be dropped down to, I think the cheapest would be like 150 or so, if I remember right, something like
You had
that.
to get 100 or something.
Yeah, and you had to get a whole slew of commercial people. So
Yeah.
they weren't open, but then they slipped up. They made a presentation here that they had done a deal with someone for $115 per head. So when I asked for the same deal, it wasn't available. So they're not easy.
No, but I like the guys there, Mark Ibbotson,
No, they're great people.
nice gentlemen, but
Great
yeah.
parties as well.
Great parties.
Was it the one party downtown that gave away a Tesla?
I was there.
You were there?
Yeah, young lady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I met her, she's like 23 years
Yeah.
old. Gave away a Tesla.
Yeah. I made a joke this year saying, hey, like last year they gave away a Tesla. She said, oh, that was me. And she drove it there that day,
Yeah.
you know? Anyhow, we can talk about data, but really, I think my message here, like the overall theme is building the LePage Commercial brand and connecting everybody as much as possible. So everything I do, it's to support your efforts to do deals, and it's about, and I think connecting and really enhancing the image of the brand. So like, because I'm an agent, right? I know when you hand over that card, you really need the LePage Commercial brand to mean something. And so, you know, we're going to work together. I'll tell you a bit more about what we're doing with that. The other thing that I think in terms of where I've touched on it a bit, but really you hear about all the disruption, all the technology, and everything's coming and it's going to change us the way we do business. I believe people really need commercial real estate agents. I don't want to be, you know, stuck in the sand and not looking around at what's happening. I want to take those tools, and so I'm always looking at every new tool, technology, and data, and how we can help us. But our clients need us. They need us to guide them. They need us to do the paperwork. But the way we're structured, we actually, at LePage Commercial, I believe we've got the chance to be the disrupting company in commercial real estate. You know, because the other companies are so heavy, they're just so burdened with big administrative costs. We've got the team across the country, amazing coverage, we've got a great brand, and if we can take advantage of all the different tools that are available, and when I talk about data and the deal we've got with Altus right now, it's going to be a game changer. We're going to be able to provide great service, great data, great advice, and do transactions at a much more efficient and more flexible or agile way. So that's what I think the market opportunity is for us. So let's talk about data and let's talk about Altus, because this thing I think is an incredible opportunity. We are at the 1 yard line with this. I'm just getting approval for it. We've had over 108 pre-registered or pre-ordered bundles. We're going to make the commitment for 3 years on this deal with Altus. And these are really like never before seen prices. Like I know that some brokerages, when they buy, say, this development bundle, which gives you all the new home sales, and you can go in and get all the new home sales for the last week, and they go right down to the model. Like for condos, they'll go all the different models. It's extensive. That package, I know brokerages that have paid $6,000 for it. So that's $500 a month.
I can tell you that we have the full packages, all of them, and they cost us $40,000 a year. And we share, you know, the agents here, commercial guys, we share 5 passwords. That's what we negotiated many years ago. And so that's a terrific deal.
So this math, like, so across the country, what we're the proposal that we have with Altus is that my team is going to handle all the billing, and trust me, that is a massive challenge administratively, but I think it's worth it. I think it's a lot of value. This is like data is the foundation. If there's 4 pillars, this pillar of data is the cornerstone. That's what you all have, is that market knowledge in your head. You know the different groups. You know people that may or may not sell. So when you get that tweak that somebody's looking for an automotive repair shop, you happen to know somebody that owns one, and you might go to them and say, are you finally ready to sell? I've been talking to you for 15 years. I really have somebody that really wants to buy it. This kind of data is really going to help you with each different market. So we're really close. We have to commit to a minimum. The minimum's 180, and I'm putting the business case forward with our Brookfield owners to say, listen, I've pre-sold 108. I'm going to probably sell another 40 just by getting people that are they're already paying like 125 less the subsidy, which is I think $85 a month is what, if you're on this program, that's what you're currently paying. So you're going to save 35 out of the gate. On average, we're selling, they're booking or subscribing 2 subscriptions per agent on average. I've got many agents that have booked 4. So this actually used to be 2 bundles at $50 a month, the development bundle, but they put it into one, because it used to be development tracking was going to be another bundle on its own for 50, but they put it into one. So anyhow, that to me is some of the value that I hope I'm bringing to the team, to bring these deals to you at this kind of price. And Jack, we can talk more about this offline if you want.
That's actually a good deal.
To me, it's, you know, as part of your business going forward, this is going to help you immensely.
Well, we also have what we use a lot, condos, land. And so we've got all the packages, but the condo one gives you every detail, every bit of information on projects.
Yeah.
And it's square footage, sales, because you're right. That's why we bought the entire package. We almost got, when we were negotiating, they had made a mistake, and they were going to give us a password for each and every one of our commercial agents. But then the then owner president, he said that was a mistake, so we had to renegotiate.
They pulled that back.
Yeah, but, otherwise, we would have had a password for that kind of money for every agent.
Well, I like the Altus package that they put forward. I'm pushing to get it. I want to get it by the end of the month.
You mind explaining, because they get a little bit of information from Trev, but that's just the summary.
Yes.
Or maybe explain the full shot, you know, the full picture.
Yeah.
Get into.
Well, I guess the best way to explain it really is that on Trev, what RealNet, for instance, provides Trev, I would say, like, and it's my guess, but it's probably you get about 30 to 40% of the data. They don't give you a lot of the commentary on that, right? So it really is worthwhile to invest the $50 a month if you're going for the investment bundle, because they really go into great detail. I've used this over the years. I mean, when I was at Colliers, I went in almost every day. I would sometimes target buildings because they sometimes have the rent roll there, and they say these and the square footage and the expiry and their net rates. I'm like, okay, this is kind of nice. This helps. We're phoning those tenants.
And the seller's name and the address.
Absolutely.
The only thing they missed was the email address and phone number, which you can look up.
Exactly. One other thing that we're going to be doing with them is we're going to be taking their market highlights, you know, and really working more as a partnership with them. I don't really like to get out into the press. Like, Phil is amazing. That guy, I don't know how he does it. He's got so much energy. He's amazing. And he is the voice of Canadian real estate. I don't pretend to be the voice of Canadian commercial real estate, but I'm going to do my part to get out there and put it out on LinkedIn, put it out on Facebook and Instagram, and just through regular email blasts, because there's lots of good updates that they do. There's some smart researchers at Altus, so that's part of the partnership as well. The other aspect that I am really excited about, and this is really all about connecting and credibility, practice groups. Arash leads the land and investment practice group. He's taken the initiative. And we are launching those. So August 16th, we sent out the note and we had the meeting. We had 45 agents at a meeting. I had about another 20 online. And so we're working to create practice groups. And I gotta be honest, I'm borrowing this, let's say, copying it from the big shops. This is what we did to connect with people who were doing similar transactions. So we look at the asset type, transaction type, and the geography. So you'll see we've got a bunch of different, that's the purpose of it, but you can see we've got many different ideas for practice groups. So I'm going to run a practice group as an example. I'm doing workplace strategy, brokerage office design. That's kind of what I like. I like to think of how can you work more productively given technology. And the idea is really, let's share best practices, right? Let's collaborate, let's connect. How do you find out who does what where right now? It's really hard. You can phone me. I've been here a year. I've got a bit of an idea, but let's face it, I'm here a year. I can make the calls, and that's what a lot of people are doing now. But when we get these practice groups on, it's going to be through RLP Network, right? So rlpnetwork.com. So if you log onto that, we're going to have the commercial tab. And you can go onto the commercial tab and you'll have all the different practice groups, the descriptions. And from there, you'll be able to post templates, because an offer for land purchase is going to be different than an offer to lease a retail space, right? And people all of the past year have been asking me, hey, Brown, do you have a template for a waiver letter for land? Or do you have some environmental conditions that you can share with me for a land purchase? And I'm like, I'm not allowed to give that out, because if I did and something went wrong with that deal, I would be, in big trouble. So that can come though from the practice group. And so you can share those templates, you can have calls. So as an example, I'm working with some furniture companies and a really innovative company called Dirt. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Dirt, but
They're on the stock market.
they publicly traded. Dirt.net. So they have a new way of constructing interior fit outs, and they're quite innovative. And so I know them pretty well. So we're going to work with them to kind of, and maybe with another furniture company, we're going to put together like some new trends and strategies for brokerage office design. So on Monday, we're having a webinar with a meeting space management company. And we're just going to do that. So I think ultimately the practice group's going to be a super resource for you, and also an opportunity for you to join. So if you're interested in land and investment, you can talk to Arash and Ron Bailey and Ryan Henry, and get together and collaborate. And ultimately, it is to share best practices. Hopefully it's going to be an avenue for you to do more transactions, find solutions for your clients' challenges, right? So practice groups and data. If somebody said, what are the top two? Those are the top two initiatives. Getting data into your hands at a great price, and also practice groups enabling you to connect with the agents across the country. Find out who does what where. Other point on professional development is I'm really looking to encourage and support any kind of courses. So we're sponsoring a CCIM development course. It's kind of nice. I wish I put it in the slide, but we're sponsoring it with Cushman & Wakefield. So it's Cushman & Wakefield, LePage Commercial, and I apologize to the other group, but it's a contractor, I think, and they're sponsoring. So we're one of the 3 sponsors. I think that's a good investment for us. It's in October down in Niagara Falls for the weekend. So we're going to really be promoting that. We're working with the Real Estate Institute of Canada to offer a ton of courses at a reduced price for LePage Commercial members.
Your slide on the website, we need to picture it, or you put on the website? This slide.
Oh, this slide? I can get you the slides. I can get everybody the slides for sure. But yeah, it's not on the website. The only place we would do it would be under Royal LePage Commercial, sorry, RLP Network. You know, the commercial, under the commercial tab. I'll post it up there. That's a good question. Thank you.
So
Appreciate that.
the CCI, is it just an introduction of what you're going to get if you take the course, or is it the actual course?
This is the actual course. This is the actual course for the weekend. So it's agents and whoever else wants to take a CCIM course, and we're sponsoring it.
Is that the first phase, like? The one that-
No, you know, it's a development course. So I don't know. I don't think it's not like the phase one to get, but I think it's more of an elective to you contribute to getting your CCIM. Now, CCIM is a big investment.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's worthwhile if that's your focus, if that's what you want to be doing in investment transactions. They have a tremendous network globally, but the CCIM, when you have it on the back on your business card, I think that's a lot of credibility when you're going to meet with clients and pitching for some business. So those are the two, you know, really substantial programs that I'm focusing a lot on. Again, it's credibility, it's connecting you to opportunities and to other agents. I can share with you how challenging this was to get this logo, and I kind of skipped through it, but you can see that's what the logo was, and I know there's lots of signs out there, but we are doing a full logo rebrand, and I recognize it's just a subtle difference, right? It just puts Royal LePage in there. But I think for us as a team, this is a huge difference. There were some limitations, and I'm not familiar with the actual reasons. Since I started, I thought, if we're going to go onto social media, if we're going to have a LinkedIn page, if we're going to have a Facebook group, we need a logo that actually says Royal LePage in it, along with commercial. So our people at corporate did it. I think they're amazing marketers. They've got great, studios or design studios that work and put this logo together for us. So now we're going to be able to really market Royal LePage Commercial as a single brand, as a single entity. And my, wish or desire or belief is that if we all promote Royal LePage Commercial, I think it helps all of us. You know, we're unique in that we support you building your brand. It's about you building your brand and your relationship. But this is a strong anchor to your brand, I think. So Royal LePage Commercial, we're going to be rolling out, working with Altus. We're going to do the the market highlights. We'll do that. I want to do it monthly and really report on office highlights, investment highlights. They do a lot of residential development highlights now in terms of sites that have been purchased for building condos and other, even single families. So we want to get that Royal LePage brand out there. The other thing that we want to do with the Royal LePage Commercial brand, within our group, I'd really like to be able to get out market transactions. So when you do a transaction, we'd like to summarize it in a neat little infographic. You know, we've got a marketing guy. Let's share that, because we're really doing a lot of significant transactions. I mean, I can share that, and it's interesting where these deals come from. And frankly, a lot of them come from the residential agents. They have a lot of relationships with potential clients that we can help them. So the more that they can learn about the kind of transactions we're capable of, I think the more kind of referrals we're going to get from that. So I'd like to be able to put together marketing infographics, and you can just contact me. I work with Jennifer. We're looking to hire one more. That's our commercial team at head office. Me, Jennifer, and hopefully one more admin kind of support that can help us with managing some of the things like the Altus, because that's going to be a bit of a challenge in terms of just doing the billing for that. But the market transaction highlights, that's something we'd love to work with you to create an infographic for you on your transaction. And if you've already got it done, fantastic. And then we'll put it into our social media pipeline and start blasting it out there to get the Royal LePage Commercial brand out there. The great thing is once our agents within the Royal LePage network really understand just how good we are at what we do, I think that we're going to get more leads, frankly.
Isn't there a way to internally push that out across the country? Like, there must be
Yes, there is.
We have everybody's email
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
must be a monthly, hey, send to all 14, 15,000 agents. This is what.
close to 19. Close to 19.
Even better.
Yeah.
Send, and
Yeah.
Jennifer's job is done for the month until she has to go pile the
Yeah.
next one.
There is a way.
With all
And
this with RealNet.
Yep.
Okay, this is the deals we've done. I've done it many times for my presentations. Well, look at all the Royal LePage deals we've done.
yeah,
You know, and I've.
Arash is asking for that. He's been asking for that for what, 2 months now. So
I've been asking for it for, how long have I been here?
4 years.
Like,
we will get it. We will get it. But
That
I'm sorry that that one has taken some time to get. Just the deals that we've done. There was a transaction that was done. I think it was done up in Bracebridge. It was a school. I think it was $8 million or so. It came from a residential agent. She walked over to the commercial agent, said, "This is what my client says they're looking for." Make the calls, do the research. Next thing you know, they do the thing. And it was, well, $8 million at a full fee, right? So the commission was fantastic. They split it 50-50, just for the record. And like as a layup, if somebody's giving me a layup, sorry, as an agent, I'm all for 50. Like, let's work together. Let's do it. I didn't have to pitch for the deal. If I've got a pitch for it, maybe we'll talk a bit differently, but fantastic deal. And to your point, yes, they have the process, but you can't, like, it's a process within Royal LePage, and they're smart because you can't blast out emails willy-nilly. So they have an actual person whose job it is to monitor and schedule all the emails that go out to the entire network. So it's a rigorous process, and I'm learning to work through it. We did the top 10% sales award. We're going to do it again this year. And I got to admit, I'm being recorded, so I can't say exactly how badly I messed up. But I didn't do it correctly and made a few mistakes, but there weren't huge mistakes, but we're going to do it again. But that process of going through and making sure everything is absolutely accurate, it's a rigorous process, and we're going to do it. Like, we've got to do it because it's something that message has to get out to that's one of our biggest strengths.
It is.
So we've got to do it. So it's on the agenda. We're going to do it. What you can do to help me is tell me what you're allowed to say, kind of package it, if you have a photo, and then we can work together and say, here's the infographic. What do you think? You go, fantastic. And then we put it in the loop, we create it, and we got to work with the Royal LePage Canada team because they're pretty particular and they're very protective, I'd say, and for good reason. But we're going to do it. But if you can, send me your deals that you've done. That's really important.
Jim, in addition to the market highlight situation, is there a future for an ongoing inventory of deals done that could be, because when I worked in the big house, we had a monthly deals done.
Yeah.
And for leases, for sales, et cetera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know you've got a lot on your plate to do, but is that something you looked at for the
Absolutely.
future?
So the plan right now, I mean, I'm working to get all the commercial deals from all the Royal LePage offices across the country. I want that tally. It's really like we should have that, right? Like we need to have that. That's a great sales tool. We've done over 300 million in sales, and I know of deals that are closing by the end of end of October, and they're significant deals, and I can't wait to get marketing those. So to answer your question, I'd love to be able to be tracking them all and do it on myself. That's going to come more from the practice groups. So the leader of the office leasing practice group is going to be Fraser McDonald, and you know what? It's not about somebody leading it like Arash is doing land and investment with Ron. They can bring on, other people can join them and work together and collaborate. But I'd like to ask the leaders of the practice groups to create as much and gather as much data themselves, because they're more on the ground. They're smarter than I am when it comes to what deals. bless you, what deals are happening in the market, right? So I'm looking to the practice leaders to do that, but I know I've got to take leadership in that too. So it's on the plate, and it's a great idea. Like it's kind of basic what we do, right? Data, you got to have the transaction data. That dictates what kind of deals we're going to do. So on the plate to do that. The other thing, in addition to the other three pillars that we're working on, is technology. So we are in the process of revamping the website. It has lots of potential to improve, let's say. But in the short term, I want to make it as functional as possible. So we'll be taking off a few of the tabs. So when you go under RLP Network, we're going to have a lot of items, especially the practice group material. Like if you're in a practice group, I'd like you to be able to share documents within it using Google Drive. So that kind of update from a technology standpoint we're working on right now. The website, we want to post all the practice groups on the website again. So the exterior, the consumer, our potential clients can find out who they can talk to start the discussions for their requirement. So we're working hard to do that. Now, I had a tech company for 11 years and it had so I love technology. I think we have a tremendous opportunity to really leapfrog the competition in terms of what we can offer from a front-facing website. I look at it more machine learning, more not artificial intelligence, because that's really right up there and super expensive, but machine learning, using some algorithms to, when people visit our site, my vision is to see, within a few clicks, get to the right agent. I don't really want, and I'd love to promote properties too and promote listings, but I really want to connect potential clients to you. So if you do land investment, if you do office leasing, if you do storefront retail, I like to get that client that's on our website, and we have a great advantage here. Royal LePage is really the most traffic site. We've got the link to Royal LePage Commercial right on the front page of that. When we did that, I was just a month or two after I started, our traffic went up 10 times. Now it was coming from a pretty low spot anyway, but we really did dramatically. So we've got a really good connection there that we can leverage. And that's what we're working to do, to leverage the other tools that Royal LePage over the years has created. Smart Studio, I come from Cushman and Colliers for 8 years, and they worked hard to get their internal CRM, and it's a real challenge. But I actually like Smart Studio, and I'm working with them to customize it for commercial. I'm working with them Smart Leads. Smart Leads is really the most affordable lead generation system going. When you compare it to other, ads out there, if you're doing Facebook leads and Google ads, our system probably gets you a more qualified lead for dramatically less. So I'm working with them. So from a technology standpoint, it's the website and it's the leveraging all the internal infrastructure that we already have and customizing it for commercial. So really, that's the platform. That's what it is. So when somebody says, hey, what do you get for $100 a month? Unfortunately, you get me, but fortunately, you do get the 4 pillars and our dedication to really support you. So that's in essence my presentation, and I really would love a ton of questions. So if you have some, I'm here and happy to answer anything.
So Tim, Jim.
Yeah.
When you sort out, let's say, a database, when you collect a database, will we be able to have data just for Ontario? Because I do a lot of work in Nova Scotia as well. I'm not an agent there, but would we have data for Royal LePage and other provinces as well for the transactions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and for sure. And I'm going out to Nova Scotia next week, right?
I'm going to be out there.
You're going to be out there too. Drop by the booth. I don't know if I did a good thing or bad thing, but I booked 3 booths because I wanted a little more space. I've been gaining some weight here. So instead of just having 1 booth, so we're gonna have Knoll Furniture is providing us with all like free furniture. We've got a big banner, got a big TV. We're gonna scroll through it. We're gonna try to do as much promotion as we can. I'm unfortunately actually a bit late in asking people for listings, but we're gonna be going through the LePage Commercial listings that are on our site, and we're gonna scroll through that. But we're also gonna take other, I guess, content that we hope will be of interest to the agents. This show, like, it's my first show, right? So I don't really know what to expect, but I think there's over 1,000 residential agents there.
Right.
Our signage is gonna say connect with commercial. We wanna keep the message simple. We want to say we're really good at what we do and we can help you make more money too, and impress your client and really solidify your relationship with your client. So I'll see you out there. I'm looking forward to it.
So Jim, what do you say to a guy like me who's been in the residential market for many years and now, wants to sort of transition into this commercial market? What do you say to a guy like me?
I say, welcome. We have a commercial candidate.
That's a good start.
We have a commercial candidate program. So what we're doing in that, and it's early days, obviously, but I really believe we need to help people like you transition into it. So what we want to do is you call me, we work hand in hand with your broker, because and we try to find you mentors for the type of business that you want to do, and also based on your clientele and the people, like your network. Everybody jokes with me and they say, well, your network is your net worth, right? In real estate. So we say, okay, what's your network and how can we kind of help you put a business plan together? So this is what I do with a lot of agents. I have I'd say there's 15 of the 60 new agents that we've had since I joined. So we've gone from 280 when I joined to 340. I can't take credit for all that. That's Lucy Bruce, who was here before. She did a great job, and I think I'm kind of piggybacking on the work that she did. But it's nice to have that kind of increase. So we're doing that. What we'll do along with the commercial candidate program as well is have you introduced to courses based on with the Real Estate Institute. And so you can, if you wanted to do leasing, we'll get you enrolled in that at a great rate. And so you can be a certified leasing officer through their program to start. We want to, and we'll work to get you mentors within the LePage Commercial, and they might be in Nova Scotia. I mean, Dave Kerr, I don't know do you know Dave Kerr in Nova Scotia? Fantastic. I've never met him personally, but he's done some really interesting deals. He's open, positive, and that's the kind of people we're attracting, I think, that are just, hey, we don't want the BS of a big shop. We want to go do our business. We want to have fun. We want to help our clients. So Dave's a great guy, but we could hook you up with other mentors in the kind of asset class that you want to deal in or the transaction type. And we would kind of work with you on a monthly basis just to check in. Because I started in real estate and I was given I actually bought Realty Allies. I don't know if you're familiar with that software, but I bought that little application in 1990. And it was on MS-DOS and you had to, and I would just cold call all day. And I'd say, I just wanted to touch base with you about your real estate. And the guy goes, oh, I'm not in that ballpark. And I'd say, that's funny. And then I'd get a dial tone. Like, it's a hard business, right? Transactions are so tough to get done. And it takes a lot of time to get money into your pocket. So for you and for people like that, we'll do our best to support you, recognizing though that it's still really hard. And so people that have agents that have a residential business, I don't think you can just say, see you later. I think what you want to figure out is, how do I leverage all of those contacts? What kind of transactions do they want to do? Who within commercial can I partner with? And when you partner with people, I think it's 2 things. I think it's trust, and I think, are you really good at what you do? We want to be around the people that are really good at what they do. And so that's the answer to your question. we've got the candidate program, and you can just email me, and we can start talking to Jack, and we'll get you going on it.
Can you explain more about the next week's Nova Scotia exhibition? What's the?
So it's on the website, so, which I think is pretty impressive, right? You go onto the website and it's, what is it, RoyalLePageEvents.ca, I think. And so it's RoyalLePageEvents.ca, I think, or .com. Wow, there's so many events going, but what we have is there's a trade show. So it's I don't think it's that big, but I've never been there before. I was initially going to take 5 booths, and then they said, hey, smarten up, you can't do that.
What's the main goal of the Royal LePage?
It's the National Sales Conference.
Yeah, it's the
I think
National
understand
Sales
it's-
Conference. So agents, mostly residential, I have to admit. We've got maybe 20 commercial agents going. But so that's supposed to be like, I think there's 12 or 1,300 that go. 1,600 now?
Something like that.
Wow.
But it
So-
could be in Toronto, it could be in Vancouver, it could be anywhere, it's just a national
I
convention.
think it's every 2 years too, right? But I think they want to change it. They might be changing it every year. I shouldn't maybe say that, but I don't know.
If
They're-
you want to get a good idea, go to the NAR in the States, the National Association of Realtors. I've been twice.
You've been there.
There's 20,000 agents, there's 400 booths, it's amazing.
Wow.
It's in- And it's $50 to get in. It's in Boston this year.
Wow. Wow.
Did it already happen?
No, November 4th to the 6th.
Wow.
In the
NAR,
And
National
the-
Association of Realtors. I've been once in Anaheim, once in New Orleans, amazing. You can get a lot of ideas, even for commercial.
Well-
See what the Americans are doing.
One of our commercial agents in Vancouver, he said every time he goes to the National Sales Conference, his cost is returned to him 10 times.
Of course.
It just happens. You get talking, and next thing you know, you're doing a deal.
It's all about networking.
It is.
Problem for me personally is I'm in another professional association, and they always have it at
At the same
exact
time.
same time. I was even in the same hotel in St. John's, Newfoundland, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Really?
And the National Sales Conference was there, but I was in my other professional conference, so.
So the idea, though, the theme, just to answer your question, I hope even more, is it's about connecting. Connect with commercial. We want to get that message out to the residential agents that we're good at what we do, you can trust us, and we can help grow your business.
It's a good, they're all good conferences. You know, the NAR is amazing. I connected with people from Hawaii.
Really?
Albany, New York, and I've done some mortgage deals with them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, any more questions?
Data, you mentioned CoStar, Altus Group, of course, ICSC.
Yeah, we're a member of ICSC. I just joined again. Like our membership lapsed. Somebody emailed me and said, Brown, what are you doing? So we're a member of that. And we're looking to join the other ones too.
To ask if you
Yeah,
talked to
he
him
did ask.
about ICSC.
He sends me the note, Brown, what are you doing? Like, hurry up.
So we were member and it was expired and I got an email that I gotta pay $1,500 to join. And I was wondering,
So
if
we
you're a
pay-
corporate member, then
Yeah.
that reduced to $150 or $200, but
Yeah.
send them an email.
So we joined as Royal LePage Commercial. I
So
think that
we
was,
can all join now?
so you can all join, and how much is
You
it?
just have to call and ask for the corporate account number when you join. So you use the Royal LePage Commercial, not Royal LePage or Community when you join as part of the ICS.
Fantastic.
So we're looking to join NAOP and Cornet. I mean, I gotta make sure I stay within the budget, but
Can I
anyhow,
ask Jennifer to join, to help me join?
yeah,
She'll join?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy.
So are those Altus packages available now for us? Or still working on it?
so the answer is no, they're not available this second. I had a meeting earlier this week. I don't even know, this is Friday, right? So I think it was Wednesday. I think we have agreement in principle, but I still need Brookfield to sign off because it is a commitment that we're putting ourselves at risk for having to make up for the bundles that we don't, if we didn't sell, right? If we sell 180, we're good. We're even, we're breaking even.
Or you have to make up a shortfall.
Or we're gonna make, and I'm recommending that for this program, it's so important to get data at this kind of price. I said, go for it. So I think that I've got the buy-in, but I don't have formal approval yet. And so I'm working through those, and I hope to have it. I mean, I'm pushing hard to get it done by the end of the month. Now, another question that's come up, and they said, well, what if we're not in commercial? Can I still get those prices? And the answer is no, because we're working real hard to manage this, and it's costing us a lot of time and effort. So if an agent is part of the residential and not part of commercial, we might figure out how we can do it, but it's going to be a premium to that, right? Because we can't, it's just not fair to those of you that are paying the money. So it's a matter of principle, but it's also, it costs a lot of time and effort and ultimately money to manage that program. So.
Jim, the other thing you said about just consistency, and you're talking about sharing templates and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consistency is credibility.
Yes.
And that's where, you know, some of the residential agents tend to go a little aside and they don't have the guidance, right? So are you proposing that if they belong to the 340 of us or whatever, that they would have access to those templates?
So another, they won't have access to them. No, they have to join commercial.
They have to join, okay.
There's multiple reasons for that. Not just, I like the consistency, but it's just, no, it's not fair. However, does it happen? It happens across the country. They grab the logo and next thing you know, you see a sign on the 401 and it's from somebody that I don't know. They're not in commercial, but there's a commercial logo there. I'd like to know about that and be able to contact that agent because I don't think that's fair. And I don't, we need to enhance the credibility of the brand, and that doesn't help us.
Yeah, credibility
right?
is everything. I mean, yeah.
Agreed.
I've been in big shops.
Well, and they have their challenge, right?
Yeah.
I had all kinds of calls at DT said Barnaky from agents saying, this guy just did a broker opinion of value. You got to talk to him. He gave it to him on like a napkin.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I agree with you. And we are doing, so the whole rebrand is happening. I'm working on all kinds of presentation templates to launch within the commercial rlpnetwork.com for you to download. It's not available yet. Corporate's handling it. They've got their smart studio guys doing graphics.
That, we are actually creating a guideline on a brochure for the Royal LePage Commercial, what needs to be as part of the brochure. So we are going to present that to the Royal LePage Commercial and then they'll upload it to the website. So whoever is using that guideline, that's what has to be in the package based on the numbers of items that needs to be researched prior to creating that package.
Yeah, you talked about that at the August meeting.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. We want to collaborate to be the best we can be, right? So share great templates so people have examples of what's really, really good. But so if that's it, I'm around if you want to come up and chat. I've got some time. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Can I do this? Thank you.
Jim, I'm gonna go. I'll follow up with you.
Yeah.
Doug Patterson. Robert, would you like?
I'll send that on the record.
Put on a stupid. One of the questions, I've been around I've been around value and real estate since 1981. I was trying to get him down.
He's down and joined.
Yeah, it's frustrating for us. The question I was going to ask you is,
He wants to. So that's all you need. Not here. I can.
Man, that is a nice simple name. I love that. Jim Brown.
So you
In Europe. Oh, I see. So we're limited to what you see on Fred?
Yes. And you also see the when you get 200 bridges.
So I've always heard that there's not a lot Half an hour, okay, there's always stories. But, so, yeah, if you have something, you know, when you want, you know, that's what I do. Yeah.
So we want some.
If you need MLS, so you got.
I have the same thing every week.
And then you.
Okay, yeah, okay, now wait a minute, yeah. Yeah, I know, I think that's right.
The last 5 units were 600 for the
Yeah, their sweet spot is 6,000, 7,000
Yeah.
square feet, but he owns over 20 right now. And he wants to, instead of having rentals, he really wants to have a land. I just did a deal, if you want to know how different it is. I started, I did 2017. Which was hoping that we would get a more days.
I do a lot of work.
That's a state industry. Recently,
I have a copy
so he bought 1.4. Could go to 11, 12,000 square feet on it. He's going to take 7. Yeah.
And then manage.
Yeah. And he likes to be near big moms.
You know what the thing is?
Anyway, pleasure to meet you.
Quick with the card on that. Quick on the truck. What about getting all these?
I'm meeting some people from, if I go.
Hey,
my
I'd like to
daughter-
get a shorter email address. Love to get a shorter email.
She might be going with royallepage.com. But I have lots of other friends.
Well, yeah, that was.
I said to them, and they said, no.
You should go. The flights are only $240.
Because just the marketing and the whole perception.
I will not stay anywhere except nearby.
I go,
I don't want to.
Well,
I'm going to
When Lucy was there. Came on.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't want to stay.
But, no, if there's anything in the idea.
Right on the
We did some.
We did with Royal Bank too. We purchased a joint venture with Cushman on their pitch. And we supported them. We haven't seen the initial, but part of that.
I have a security
here. I have a reached out to Cushman and say, hey, who's managing the Royal Bank?
I understand.
And let's meet. So that's not my job. I'd love to see it and have an agent go in and do it.
I like the bank.
You know, do
I
transaction.
have one. My girlfriend's son.
Well, we gotta, the way we have to do that, and it's not a nice way to do it, but it's like, how have you managed a portfolio? You know, we gotta pitch them on our skill set. And so, you know, what are we bringing to the table? Why are we moving? They have their transaction manager. And yeah, we pitch with them, but we have to have a process. So that's what we gotta figure out. You're a niche. To do those.
I might not want to do this. I would want to.
We still have an RBC space for this. 600 square feet.
But I know it's
Put a daycare in the tough areas. It is a tough area, but man, at least you never raised.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a nice building. McDonald's,
I'm all
maybe.
over
Where's the daycare?
What's your name?
Yeah, I think it's nice meeting you, man. Let me know, you make it.
Think about it.
Oh, you did? What was it? Okay, nice meeting you. Yeah, okay, Steve. Thanks, nice meeting you. Thank you.
Oh, is that right?
Nice meeting you.
So you're I'm gonna be in Victoria next week. He's on the committee. And matter of fact, I'm gonna see him this weekend because I have another conference.
Yeah, no, we
Two
should.
professional associations. So I'm the assessor to the, so I'm an AI.
So I could be.
Yeah.
You know, right
So,
away.
I was just gonna mention to you.
So you're a member of the.
And I was with, I started in a brokerage business.
We don't.
I tried.
So,
I did one deal when
I worked
came
with
here.
Paul.
I had a good friend of mine, and I was like,
I hardly.
We did a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I still do.
Oh, yeah.
You should have come over here.
Bottom line. What I'm.
It was that, number of him and Connor. I can do math.
Yeah.
The math works here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ernie had a car accident.
Oh, no.
Somebody bumped into him.
Jim, sorry, we gotta run. Here's my card. I'll see you in Halifax.
Awesome. Hey, we're gonna do, we're trying to figure out what to do there.
Yeah, the restaurant.
So we're gonna have Prosecco at 3:00 or 2:30.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good.
Actually, I'm not registered.
So I have two
I'm going to close the cottage.
Yeah.
And then I'll be in Halifax for a couple of days.
But please pay me, and I'll get you into the conference somehow. And I wanted to come to the booth.
I'm actually meeting other people there too, so I'll pay you.
You can come in.
And I don't even know. Which office, you're at the north office, Cushman?
Yeah, the north office. Glenn Moore, Steve Connell, all those guys.
I was at two, that's right.
Yeah.
He mentored me for way back.
Some of those guys would be smart to come here.
All my clients
They're really smart to come here.
Diana used to be Florence.
Yes, I do.
She was all over him. All, like, just, she came from.
I speak English with Chinese.
She joined.
We've got
Paul works with me, he does strictly businesses and.
Yeah, we love to have somebody do your job. I know.
So
I refer him all the time. We just finished selling a restaurant business. And nobody can sell.
We have two other agents, and they're phenomenal. Business sales practices.
Yeah, the Korean fellow.
Yeah, Samsung, and also Manuel Choi. He's in Mississauga. So, and there's a couple others too. Dave Kerr actually out in
You're making a separate
Nova
offer.
Scotia.
Oh,
So I have a business.
But that's the way
That's
it's
the
done.
idea is to get.
You don't wanna mix them up.
So we have a gas station. One of
That's right.
So.
I personally would do it different because the business, is structured under the bulk sales act.
Yeah.
So it's completely separate from.
This is what I like.
That's what I. It's under.
You know, Don really
It's in the-
He's my neighbor, he's my neighbor.
Is it in
I've
Toronto?
known Don since the TV.
That guy's a machine.
Yeah.
Physically, he's a machine.
Yeah.
He's an Edmonton, and so he's kind of managing, but I think there's a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running two practice.
So building.
And we're just.
Very.
And he's also. He says it's fine.
Like a transaction manager.
Yeah.
Transaction management practice.
Would
You know,
My,
guy that's put webinars on. Here's a key. Here's the keys to.
That lawyer put it
So
in.
nice. He's also
yeah.
running First Nations.
I
I think he's gonna have a We should have a webinar on that.
I don't have time to do research.
I just saw a LinkedIn.
Sure, $50 is not gonna take my pay. I don't have time to do that.
Native practices.
It's going to the data.
And what opportunity does that?
You want to visit
What's real, what is real?
Get more patients than you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They just ask you, they trust you, you
So,
service, and then they have got
small
they
kind
know
of
where
story,
to get
small
this
little
is,
story.
right?
I was at Colliers and they said, Brown, you've got the national. We want you to pitch.
Yeah, right.
If you sell without price, it doesn't care.
That's right, that's right. That's right. And it's not so much from the-
20% of your time.
Yeah, no, that's right.
120%.
Don't buy a bus.
And I said, my sister, I'll do it.
He's like, yeah,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
sure.
You gotta be in transition.
Right.
I go, tell me what you want.
Because,
Of course, they give me,
Sorry.
we found that they were like, we took it from place, and it was Don.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got his MBA, and he's got a lot of, he's so smart. We thought, this is
So, buy the $50. Well, for me, I want to spend as less money as possible. I would rather get the $50 to buy my time.
Do you know him when he was?
So, all these things.
I've known Don since
Great guy.
early 90s. Yeah.
That's like.
And as I said,
I
he
was really,
he
I
tried to talk to me.
data.
Signature.
Ah.
He said
Here,
that they
numerous
should-
times. I'd see him out on his bike, you know, and just around the corner from him. So,
He's like, he's cool. He's taking his kids out like, so I was out there. And they're all like September, I guess it was like,
Seriously.
I saw him at Eagle.
Oh, there was on already. When you get the village and come around and say, okay,
Standard. Experience.
They say I'm not selling.
Quite often.
Oh, they say I'm not selling.
Oh,
They say, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Call me when you're ready,
That's
right?
it.
So, okay, fantastic. I could meeting.
They have,
Well, and that's what I said about credibility.
I'm here.
because I don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll be in touch.
I went out.
Now, you have a card?
I just joined.
What's your name?
Yeah, yeah.
If you need your binder, yeah, take care.
You got, cheers.
I went out
He'll send us an email.
I'm with Jack at Jane Street.
Oh, you're with Jack?
Jack and I used to work for years ago, now we're back together.
Jack is an amazing guy.
Yeah. Our phone numbers are so similar. It's 460-9222.
So I know one people do this, so when I call.
I've known Vivian for a long time, her, Michelle, her daughter, married.
Your message, I don't want to offend you. That was,
You know, if they.
George
see
Carson
some-
was-
How does it really work?
I don't know.
They see some residential.
What's it?
Bullshit.
Like Peter, you.
What's that?
We had a meeting.
Tell them, tell them, right?
No, Central Italy.
Central.
Like the Southerners have adopted me into the family because they speak the language.
Were you near Rome?
I'm on the other side of the ocean.
I'm working with Ally with the CCIM.
Yeah, yeah.
I went,
Of course, he's big.
I grew up in all these towns, Oakwood and St. Clair.
But,
I went
First
to
office,
colleges.
my first office is across the street from Oakwood, right in the corner.
With
The
security.
Crane,
building.
the Crane, you know, it was national, it was Nardi Regal. then it
Yeah, I know Nardi.
It was national, married to the church, my broker.
How long you been in?
1990.
I'm 80, 1981, 82. I'm a lot older
What's that? What street did you go?
than you. Right on Christie.
Christie?
Christie, south of St. Clair.
Okay.
You know the area?
Sure do.
You don't live around there?
No.
But Jack grew up around there too.
My father's first house he purchased was at,
Oh, yeah.
and
He's coming out.
Right over the area.
yeah, Bowie.
Oh, he's going.
I know Bowie. I've sold on Bowie.
He lived at
You
one.
know, and.
I've done,
Still,
I think I sold 75, but years ago. I've done a lot of deals recently there, industrial stuff. If you get anything industrial
Well,
around
yeah,
there,
it was a bit of a.
I have a client that's got about 15 deals.
So you focus on commercial?
I do everything.
You do any retail?
No.
I mean, she really had.
He does just
Well,
businesses.
Initiative, you know.
No, because it has about 4,600 or 9,300 in Weston and Seventh. There's a Home Depot.
I know where it is.
She got it up
Next
and
to
running.
Miami, yeah, the 90.
Yeah.
I sold a donut shop there
Because there
once.
are a lot of guys.
Well, it's probably coffee time at
No,
78.
no, it was, prime time donuts about 20 years ago. Just south, and then I did work with, East Side Marriott when they were up there.
So I'm in Vaughan, but my fiance is taking it to the old Caledon Free Toss.
It's too far.
I'm up there every day, so if you need something, you call me, I'm there.
I will. Send us your stuff, your,
I most definitely will, and I have a few clients that own property in Nova Scotia
do you?
and have went to school in Nova Scotia.
I,
Well-to-do, so if you have anything,
you tell?
somewhere.
Because, you know, you
If you have
can.
anything there that you go up for
I'm not
sale,
doing that.
We'll talk because, I do a lot of
That's where
mortgage
the
work
practice
there.
groups, and we should.
I've got guys who run
By the
that.
and now I got people taking their money, and they bought some houses close to the university as investment properties.
We'll talk.
30.
I'm actually an hour and a half.
I'm not looking to buy more,
Like,
but I was never able to capitalize, because what do I know in Nova Scotia, I don't know anybody.
Right.
I'm gonna have another one, probably.
The prices have gone up now.
Halifax is too expensive. What you do, Paul, is it?
Robert.
You might want
Not a bad, though.
an assessment.
You go into the small towns,
Yeah.
If you want to.
you buy houses for $60,000-$70,000 bungalows, and you're renting for $700
No, I
a
mean,
month.
and that's where my business.
Incredible.
I have a cottage there. My girlfriend's from Nova Scotia, so we have a cottage.
Well, I did in the Cabot Trail, I was been up there, I drove 3,700 kilometers, I went
I
down
don't-
to Digby.
I don't drive, I fly, buddy, and I rent a
Well,
car.
I flew to Moncton, and then I took the car and we did the whole thing there.
There's a good Sicilian boy, if you need to rent a car, I'll hook you up. Yeah.
I've been at,
But you know what?
I'm going next week.
The numbers make sense there, like, why buy a condo here for 400 grand when I could buy 4 houses?
Four, you can buy fucking 8 houses. The Jews are buying, the Greeks and the Jews and the Lebanese own everything down now.
They've already.
Not so many times.
Yeah, they took everything already.
those are always my.
The Jews from here took everything about
Yeah,
10 years
existing
ago.
clients.
The Greeks have been there, and the Lebanese for about 30 years. Are we being recorded?
I think so.
It's even better. We're all good people.
Oh, it's 416, 460-9122.
Follow up or.
See you next week, Jim.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Sit in it.
That'll be fun.
We'll grab a bite. I've got some other guys too.
I look forward to it.
If you come to my cottage, you can have lobster. I'm 300 feet from the fisheries.
Really? Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
All right, see you guys.
No, I mean,
See
just
ya.
for an example, like, he knows, I've introduced him to my clients, and we went in on a $35 million deal. It didn't pan out, but, you know, that's the kind of thing that I deal with.
We gotta get those
I've got
together.
those, yeah. I gotta go check that.
No.
Abruzzo pizza.
Abruzzo pizza. Okay.
Welcome to join me. I need an engineer from WSP.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they interrupt your line, like, meet me there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
We tried when I was at Barney and Cushman to get to know those guys. Like,
He's at home today, he's sick, but I said, if you feel better, let's go for pizza at Abruzzo's.
I wish I had time. I'd love to join you. Can you ping me? And not that I can do it today, because I'm just preparing for this show. I'm trying to, and now 2 sessions today. Is he? Well, hey.
So
look,
he's connected with Bill. You know,
Yeah, and we're looking at joining that.
So he
as
just
well.
texted me that the big Caledon, Mayor's big, we're gonna be heading out.
Nice.
It's a controversial part of Ontario.
Oh,
So people go
yeah,
over the
yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Follow that closely.
Not closely, no. Honestly, I'm across the country. I go,
In the paper, it was the recent, the current mayor sold his land all over.
Yeah.
And Karen Darnley, who was trying to make a big thing. Now she went, put her name in the hat for the mayor's position. He's running, and then Ward 1 Councillor Shaughnessy is running. And I spent a lot of time with my council work for 40 years, and when I pound the pavement, I pound hard. So now there's.
I grew up in Brampton.
Okay. Hillary.
Yeah, but Caledon was just going crazy.
You know, to get something through the town, you better make sure you have the right person that has it.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
You get it downtown, boy, and getting it to the town.
Not
I
bad.
do 19 months for building permit. My deals that I put together, 3 months worth of work.
Really? You know, that's funny because I was at that conference down yesterday, and one of the guys was up saying, you know, it used to be my clients could go in the morning and ask for a building permit and walk out with the building permit. That was 30 years ago.
Once upon a time.
And now it could be 2 years. Yeah, could be 2 years. If you're lucky. Can you believe that? Crazy. But thanks for coming out, and you know, whatever I can do to help.
The Nationals, can I bring him as a guest if I fly to Halifax?
Yeah, you can bring guests. Like you gotta, sorry, you're gonna have to pay for them, right? But I've got a few booth passes because I did buy 3 booths, so I think I get, and I haven't, they're not all accounted for. This is taking place. So I'm flying out on the 23rd, which is a week Sunday. Basically, the 20 parties every night. Yeah. And evidently, that's what people would tell me, that's where the networking happens.
Yes, of course.
You know, so there's a party on the afternoon of the 23rd. So if you flew out on the Sunday, you'd have like 3 or 4
I'm gonna
parties.
download the details, send it to him because his wife's just airline.
Oh, really?
So we're always, they're flying all the time. So maybe we'll just hop on a plane.
Hop on a plane, come out, have,
He's got family.
you know, there's parties every night. Now, I'm not hosting a commercial party because there's too many
That
others.
was your first time there. So
We're
you're just gonna
You know,
walk the ground.
but I did book 3 booths, right? So we're gonna have more presence than we've ever had there. And it's just, let's get it going.
Most definitely.
Awesome.
Pleasure meeting you.
Hey,
See you
real
again.
pleasure. Thank you.
Is Don gonna be there, you think? Is Don coming out?
You know what? I
You don't
don't know.
He probably is.
You know, like, it's hard to say. Like,
Are
I
you
actually
familiar
left
with
him a message maybe a month ago, and I gotta figure that out. Like, Lucy was gonna be there, but now I don't see her on the list, so